This was our application at the end of the last video. We have created a PowerBASIC console compiler application which will interrogate the Ollama system. Ollama is set up to use the OpenAI GPT OSS 120 billion large language model. In the last video, we fed this model with a document, and we asked the system to summarize the document, and here is our document summary. This is very useful, however, the layout of this summary document is not ideal. It puts text into tables, and in this format it's not particularly easy to read. Of course, we could write an application to take this raw document summary and make it more presentable. However, I thought perhaps there's some way to change our output in the prompt itself. So let's go and have a look at our PowerBASIC code. In our application, we are calling our Ollama with input function. If we have a look at that function, we can see this is where we generated the prompt. Please summarize this document. I'm going to amend just the prompt to change the way the system gives us the data back. And I've amended the prompt to say, please summarize this document and provide output in HTML format. Nothing else in the application has changed, except for the name of the code file. As we're going to be using a PowerBASIC Windows compiler later on in this video, I've renamed the source file to cc_call_ollama.bas. This is a naming convention I've adopted to indicate all console applications that begin with cc. So if we compile our application now, which compiles quite cleanly, and we have process lasso running in the background to indicate the load on our CPU and memory. So there is our executable, recently compiled. If we double click on that now, we have our console window opening, and we can see from process lasso that the CPUs are now fully loaded and the amount of RAM being used is increasing rapidly. So we'll speed through to the end of this processing to see what we get in our document summary. And our application has now finished and the CPUs are rapidly returning to normal. So let's have a look at our code folder. If we sort by date modified, we can see our document summary.txt is appearing at the top. So let's just rename the extension of this file to HTML. And if we double click on the file, we jump straight into our browser. Now, as you can see, the layout of the document is now much tidier. It gives us all the information we want, and it's in a format we can quite easily pass on to anyone else. It has the thinking section at the top and the main summary below. So just by changing the prompting of our model, we can get the output in a format that's easy to read and quite redistributable. So if we go back to the code, we can change this now so that our document summary always comes out in a file with an HTML extension. I've also tried getting the system to output in OpenXML format, for example reading files into Office, and in PDF format. Unfortunately, neither of those was particularly successful. However, as HTML is a standard flat text file format, it seems to handle this very well. So we're going to stick with HTML format. So now that we have completed the work on our console compiler application, can we create a PowerBASIC Windows application, which will have a dialog that the user can use? So let's go into the Windows compiler and start to create. So here we are now in the PowerBASIC Windows compiler. We're in the Forms Designer, and this is the form we're going to be using to query our Ollama system. We have a large text box at the top to allow the user to enter a prompt. We have a drop-down list to allow the user to select a model. We're going to set this to pre-select the 120 billion OpenAI model. We have a tick box to allow the user to tick if they're inputting a source file, and a text box into which the name and path of the file can be put. And at the bottom of the screen, we have an output area. We're going to put an HTML control on screen here so the user can see the formatted output from the query. And of course, we have a large button at the bottom of the screen to allow the user to run the query. So let's now go and have a look at the code itself. At the beginning of the application, we have added two include files, a PB Windows Controls include file and a PB HTML file. So let's have a quick look at those. In the Windows Control file, there are a number of useful utilities in here. What we're going to be using is one called Populate Combo, which gives us a nice, easy, standard way of populating a combo dropdown. In the PB HTML include file, there are a number of routines that make it very easy to add an HTML control to your dialog. There's one for prepping the HTML and one for populating the HTML, and references to the DLLs in the Windows operating system that need to be accessed in order to handle this control. So here are our constants. We've created a specific constant for our HTML control. So we have a look at the callback function, the event handler for our dialog. And here we're going to do some work in the initialize dialog section. We've created a number of local variables at the top of this routine. One called result to hold the value of the interrogation of the checkbox. Has the checkbox been ticked or not? If the user ticks the checkbox, we're assuming that there is some input file to feed into Ollama. The prompt variable will of course contain the prompt the user has typed in. The input file will contain the name and the path to the file which is going to be used for input. And similarly, the output file will contain the name and the path to the output file. And the model will contain the name selected in the drop-down list of the model the user wishes to use. So our first task would be to dimension a small array to hold the number of models. On this particular machine, I only have 2 models set up at the moment. So it only needs to contain the 20 billion model and the 120 billion model. This is where we're using one of the routines in our libraries, Populate Combo. It takes a mere 4 parameters, the handle of the dialog, the handle of the combo drop-down box. The third parameter is the name of the array containing all the values you wish to appear on this combo box. And the final value is the one you wish to default to, in this case, the 120 billion parameter model. If you leave this final parameter as blank, it will not be pre-selected in the combo box. And our next task is to hide the text box that takes the input file, because at this point, the user has not yet ticked the checkbox. The next section of the code is entirely for the HTML control. We're setting its coordinates for starting, x and y, and its height and width. And we're then using the macro which is in our library. This will prepare and set our HTML control on the dialog. As we're running this application for the first time, it will not have any content in the HTML control. So rather than it appearing completely grey and blank, we're putting in a blank output HTML file. This is merely going to display Ollama output will appear here. And we can put that HTML file into the document using the other routine, Populate HTML, which takes a mere 3 parameters, the dialog handle, the string containing the URL, and the handle of the control itself. So since we're doing a file rather than HTTP, it starts with the word file, and then followed by a colon, 2 slashes, and the path and name of the file that you wish to add. So the other logic we're putting in here is for the checkbox. We wish to test whether the checkbox has been ticked or unticked. We can use the control get check command to pull back the value of the checkbox to this result variable. If the value returned in result is 0, then the box has been unchecked. So at that point, we can hide the text input control. If the value is other than 0, in other words 1, then the box has been checked. We can use the normalize command to make the input file box visible once more. And we are setting at that point a default value into that of the path to our current executable. And we have an event for the Run Query button. If the button has been pressed, then we can pick up the value held in the combo box. Our combo box is set to allow the user to only select one value. And it's not set to allow them to type in a value. They must pick one from the list. So this will go into our model variable. Next, we will check to see if there's an input file or not by rechecking the checkbox. If the result is 0, then our input file is empty. Otherwise, we're picking up the value in the input file box. Next, we will populate our prompt variable by using a control get text to get the value the user has entered in that text box. And we are setting our output file to a specific file name. We could, of course, expand the application later to allow the user to select the location and name of the output file. But for the moment, we'll leave it hard-coded inside the application. We're updating our status bar, have the word processing. And then we can call our function, which is going to be remarkably similar to the function we had in our console application, taking its 4 parameters: the input file, the prompt, the output file, and the name of the model. If this function returns true, then we have successfully processed the input. So we're setting the URL to be the path to the output file and calling once more the populate HTML routine. This will put all the data into the HTML control at the bottom of the dialog, and we can then tell the user that the processing has completed successfully. So, before we compile our application, let's have a look at this call Ollama with input function. Here it is taking its 4 parameters, and our first test is to see whether the input file is empty or not. If the input file is empty, then when we create the batch file as we did in the last video, we don't need that value. And here is the creation of our Ollama batch file. Again, using Ollama run, which is the command line interface command to execute prompts on the Ollama system, followed by the model name, followed by the prompt, followed by the input string if there is one, otherwise this will be an empty len string, and then the 2 output characters to output to our output file. And as before, we're wiping any instance of the batch file and the output file to ensure that they are not there from a previous run. Then we append our data to the batch file and then attempt to execute it. So let's do a quick compile to make sure our system compiles cleanly. We will go back to our code folder, and there is our new executable. And if we double click on that, we should get our dialog. So we can see in our dialog, our model is pre-selected. We can then type into our prompt, please summarize this document and provide output in HTML format. And we can put the name of our input file in the field, calling it document.txt. So we're now ready to run our application. If we hit the Run Query button, we can see that we have successfully called Ollama in the background, as the CPU loading is now well shown, and the amount of RAM is increasing rapidly. While we wait for this to process, we can discuss what we're going to be changing in the next video. As with many applications, if we try and do anything on this dialog, it will come up not responding. This is because the application is waiting for the background process to complete. Ideally, you would want to run the background process perhaps in a thread. This would allow the application itself to remain responsive to the user. Plus other things we'd like to tidy up. As soon as the user has clicked on the Run Query button, it's usually good practice to disable this button so the user cannot click it again. Additionally, on the input file, we might want to put a Browse button to the right of the text box. This would allow the user to launch a file selection dialog to pick the file which is going to be used for input. The other functionality this application is not doing is it's not testing to ensure that the Ollama system is currently running. We can do that before the attempt to run the query. The other thing which would be nice to have in the application is to pull back the selection of models from Ollama itself to see what it's currently got loaded. If it is not currently running, then we can attempt to start it. This would ensure that when the user clicks on the Run Query button, that Ollama is up, running, and available to take prompts. We're currently running Ollama entirely on the local machine. So we will just speed through now to the end of our processing to see what appears on screen. And there is our application successfully completed, and it has populated the output browser window at the bottom of the screen. We can now scroll through that to see what came out. Another feature we could add to the application is to allow the user to save this output file, allowing them to pick a location and name of the file. So having prompted the system with an input file, can we now prompt it with no input file? And we'll give it a new prompt. Ideally, when we start to enter a new prompt, we might want to blank out the output window. Another thing to add to the list to do for the next video. So we've now entered a new query. How many countries are there in the world? Provide the output in HTML format. We could also append this provide output in HTML format automatically to the end of every query, as we know this is our favoured output. So let's run this prompt now with no input file. So again, our query is running. We can see that the CPUs are well busy. So we'll speed through to the end of the processing to see what comes out. And there is our application now completed. We have a formatted layout of the how many countries are there in the world. So we have the thinking at the top and the answer at the bottom with the punchline in red, 195. So in summary, what we've achieved today is we have now created a Windows application with a dialog that prompts the user for the details that they wish to query the Ollama system with. The user can select either of the two models we currently have loaded, they can provide an input file or not, and using the provide output in HTML format gives us an easy way to clearly display the output at the bottom of the dialog. So as you can see, querying the Ollama system is quite straightforward. What we'll tackle in the next video is tidying up our dialog and giving the user a little more control. Hopefully you'll find these routines useful in your own applications, but that's it for today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to click on the link in the description below to discover more videos.